We're on Auckland's North Shore for race 6 of the State New Zealand Ocean Swim Series, the King of the Bays. Race 5 of the State New Zealand Ocean Swim Series was the Sand to Surf stage at beautiful Mount Maunganui. It would be comfortably won by the Australian Trent Grimsey. In second place, New Zealand's #1 seed Kane Radford. He'd looked comfortable crossing the line, but certainly disappointed with the line that he'd taken throughout the day. In third place, it would be another Australian, a rising star by the name of Michael Shiel. And Michael Shiel will be on the start line today for race 6 of the State New Zealand Ocean Swim Series, the King of the Bays. In the women's race, it was Charlotte Webby, the very impressive swimmer out of Taranaki, having to negotiate some of the difficult conditions that Mount Maunganui offers. She would win it comfortably and add another title to her already impressive resume. And today we move to the final race in the series, race 6 of the State New Zealand Ocean Swim Series, the King of the Bays. It's the ninth time the event's been run. It's the original in the series, more than 1,000 athletes taking part in the 2.8k swim, a further 400 competing across the other distances. And let's have a look at the swim course for our athletes today. It is a wonderful swim. It takes in some beautiful scenery. Starting in Milford Beach, a swim of 200 metres off the shore and then a straight line along to Takapuna Beach before they take a right-hand turn and finish in front of the boating club. It's unique because fans, friends and family can follow the event by walking this beautiful coastline.
This race is generally the most hotly contested, if you like, out of the series. I love the swim itself. The last year it was terrible conditions, so it's looking pretty nice out there today, nice and calm. Overall, though, it's just a great event that Scott puts on and state sponsor and those things, so it's pretty good.
It's pretty good elite women's field today, so I'm just going to go out there and see what I can do.
Today is perfect conditions. It's going to be a nice, easy swim, and it's just going to be whoever gets to the end first.
It would be great to win the series. This is my first time obviously doing the series this year, so if I could come away with a win and be exciting, especially being an Olympic year.
I love a run start for once, which favours me coming from surf life-saving background, so just ready to get out there and see what happens from the start.
At this race, it's definitely about winning the series, but everything in its own way is gearing towards Portugal, so we'll see how it all goes.
And what a wonderful athlete he is, Kane Radford. This is a very good field. We are moments away from a start. Round 6 of the State New Zealand Ocean Swim Series. It is the 9th year. This is the King of the Bays, and joining me in commentary, former swimming national representative Scott Rice.
Will mark a great field in both the men's and women's elite field. This is Kane Radford in the centre of the screen. Alongside him, Casey Glover, Philip Ryan there as well, and in the #9 green cap is Daniel Bell. Recently qualified in the 100 metres backstroke for the London Olympics. In the blue cap here, Cara Baker, #2 seed, and just behind her to the left is Lauren Boyle. And great to have such distinguished athletes out of New Zealand on the start line, but the challenge will come from this woman here. She is the athlete to beat. This is Melissa Gorman, 4th at the Beijing Olympics, the 2009 open water 10k world champion. And a look at Stephen Kent, hopefully going to London in the 4x200, and a very impressive swimmer out of Taranaki in Charlotte Webby, the national butterfly 200 metre champion. We are underway, a beach start. Look at the aggressive nature off the line. This is the first wave of 5. They seed themselves according to ability. And Scott, the key thing here, getting off the line quickly and getting around this first turnaround marker. Well, that's right. In the early morning here, a start of 8:30 a.m. The sea pretty calm at the moment, and a 250 metre swim off the beach to this first big state orange marker. And looks like a lot of green caps going through there, our elite men, and you can just see in there some of those light blue caps of the women.
Well, an outstanding start for our #5 seed, Philip Ryan, again opting for the sleeveless wetsuit. That just means for him personally, he feels he gets just a better feel of the water and doesn't get the restriction. And often the long sleeve wetsuits help swimmers of lesser ability, but for the elites, again, they just prefer to go au naturel.
And in second place at the moment is Casey Glover. He's the fastest man ever to swim across the Cook Strait in just under 4.5 hours. So he's just on the heels of Ryan. Now Ryan coming back from injury. He was the 2011 New Zealand Open Water champion. So at the moment, a couple of different swimmers leading the race.
Absolutely. This is fascinating to see Casey Glover, Philip Ryan out front. No sign yet of Kane Radford or the hot prospect out of Australia and Michael Shield. I think they'll probably be more than happy at the moment to allow these two to go out, set the line, set the tempo. They realise that it's going to be a little bit more tactical. And over a distance of 2.8k, it's not just how you start the race, but you've got to have plenty of energy for that final right-hand turn into Takapuna Beach, Scott, and that 200-metre sprint to the finish line.
Well, that's right. It is a bit of a balance. It is a 2.8k swim, as you said. Getting out fast gives you a whole lot of space in the water. You're not trying to fight for space like some of these swimmers in 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. And we look back now, you can see the number 2 cap there in the green of Michael Shield. Just alongside is Kane Radford, number 1. And number 7 there is Stefan Tolbert, the winner of the Paihia Classic in the men's race. And in the blue cap at the moment, Cara Baker leading the women's field.
Cara Baker, what a wonderful swim this is at the moment. And this is always the hard thing in the open water. It's very hard for a lot of the athletes to gauge where their opposition is because you're having to lift your head every 4 or 5 strokes. You get a slight swell. You often see the green caps. Can you make out that light blue coloured cap? Often you think you can be leading, only to find yourself in 2nd and 3rd.
And we're approaching the 2nd large state orange marker now, this indicating a 650-metre distance from the start line. And still, Philip Ryan leading this race by just under half a body length now over Casey Glover. But looks like some of these swimmers have taken a slightly wider line. This is Michael Shield out of Australia in the number 2 and Radford alongside. So already navigation playing a big part in this race.
And interesting, Scott, just on the right-hand side, closest to the beach, we're now starting to see the challenges come from our leading females. Melissa Gorman in there, as well as Charlotte Webby.
Well, they were never going to be far apart, Mark, were they? Melissa Gorman has been 2 weeks out of the Australian Pool Nationals, where she was 3rd in the 800 metres freestyle. Just missed out on a berth there for Australia in the 800 freestyle. A little disappointing for her, but she's, obviously open water her specialty.
And Cara Baker, she's just lost her light blue cap, so she's now swimming in the white cap, and she's doing a good job here, just making sure she tries to get on the feet of Kane Radford, and it's all about increasing that stroke rate, and she explains the importance of that over the 2.8k.
Start of the race is obviously important to get out in front and to get away from everyone else trying to get their top positions. The speed is very important. Going into the pool and actually doing speed work will help. When you do feel like you're starting to fatigue or tire, you do want to back off the pace a little bit till the end when you know that you have a little bit more energy to finish off the race.
It's very much like a car getting off the start line. You want to have a high arm turnover, high revs, and then through the middle, just that a little bit lengthen it out, a little bit more control, and then again, just increase the revs, increase the stroke rate towards the end. A wonderful swimmer, Cara Baker.
Mark, I'm very, very impressed with the start here by Philip Ryan. As I said, he has come back from injury, but his stroke looking very fluid, nicely looking in front every sort of 2 to 3 or 4 strokes to check where he's going. And obviously keeping an eye on these swimmers trailing him as well, with Casey Glover still hanging onto his feet.
Yeah, you sense that he's in the zone. He's really empowered himself. You sort of almost just sense a vibe coming off the water that he's excited about what he's doing. But I just wonder now we start to see them get swamped because Radford has closed the gap now on Glover. This is the best place to be. We say it every week, but it's about just sitting on the feet here. And Radford will do it for a little bit, and then I expect to see another surge. The big question, where is Michael Shield from Australia?
Well, he must be behind, but what I'm also impressed about, this is Cara Baker in the white cap. A look at her now, 21 years old, out of Dannevirke originally, but now residing on the Gold Coast. The New Zealand champion both this year and last year in the 5 and 10 kilometre events. And she's got her final qualification to hopefully take one of those berths in the New Zealand squad for the Olympics in July in Portugal. So all the very best to her. Back to the race now. Looks like Radford has taken a bit of a left-hand approach to this race. He's hanging about 10 to 15 metres out to sea from the main pack of these swimmers, Mark.
And Kane Radford, he has decided to go slightly further towards Rangitoto Island. He maybe senses that perhaps there's a little bit more current out there. And again, he wants to use all the hydrodynamics of open water swimming to give him every advantage possible. And a nice stroke there from Kane Radford, a beautiful swimmer. He'll start to see the competition out to his right, and it is so important those swimmers on his inside are breathing to their left under duress. So often they just get into the habit of breathing to one side, and you can miss the train going the other way.
Well, still, this race being led by Philip Ryan. Impressive right from the start. He's held this lead. but a great stroke of Radford, which has taken to so many State Ocean Swim wins over the last few years.
They are halfway through the King of the Bays. It's anybody's race. Casey Glover, Philip Ryan, all in the mix. It's going to be a stunner. Back with the second half soon.